All right, guys and gals, Bart at High Tech Motorsport. It's October now, and we got our first snowstorm already, so it's a great place to live. Got a bunch of stuff in the shop. I'm gonna start posting these videos up a little faster because we got a bunch of things. This is another public service announcement as far as all you guys and young ladies that have, and old ladies, that have the 2014 on up direct injected 5362s and all the problems they're having now. And all I can tell you is the first thing you want to do is you want to take and get rid of the active fuel management, have that turned off immediately, because that's breaking lifters and cams and push rods and everything else. And the other thing is, stop looking at the damn oil change light as far as when you change your oil. 5,000 miles full synthetic. I always use 530. You guys use whatever you want to, but it's most important to change that and the filter. And don't wait for that light to come on and then 6 months later wonder about that. The other thing is these engines, because they're sealed up real tight, the direct injected are coking up the intake valves really badly. So you want to either put a catch can on or you want to decoke them. There's some sprays out now. I think GM has got one too, but I've seen stuff from CRC and from Seafoam and everything else, but it helps keep all the oil vapor that builds up on the intake valves and causes trouble. So we got Bill working on this 2014 here, which the motor decided to break a valve spring from, no oil. And these things do use oil a little bit, so you got to make sure you check the oil every 1,000 miles and keep it topped off with the full line, please. Don't give me the excuse that you're going with the light, and when the light comes on, it says you don't have oil pressure anymore, that you should probably think about checking the oil. That's bad. So what I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to post up at the end here. I'm going to give you the complete parts list from GM and aftermarket, and the camshaft we're using here is one of my favorites. It's a 223, 227, 625, 625, and I put it on a 113 for the truck because the guy's going to pull. Now I realize that that's the same basic duration that I use on my on the cathedral ports, and these are square ports, LS3 style heads. And a lot of guys like to use a whole lot of extra duration on them on the exhaust side, and all I think that does is bleed off cylinder pressure. We're still only working with 327 cubic inches, so we're hoping to make, close to 475 crank with this thing, and pick up about the same amount of, 450 torque, things like that. We'll know on the chassis down here in a little bit. So we took the heads off, had to take the valves out, do a valve job, get rid of all the coking on the intakes. They were actually pretty good shape. This truck has got about 140,000 miles on it. We put in the 224 000-13 comp cam blank, and then I gave them the custom as I just gave you that, but I'm going to put that all down on a piece of paper for you. So Bill's been working on this. You can see we got the heads off. We're just putting it all back together. The heads are all done. They're over here, and I'll show you. A couple things about this that make it unique. You have to block off some of the oil passages right here and here. Forget what you get low oil pressure when you put in regular non-DOD lifters with this thing, and that's the first thing we replace. This is staying with the manifolds, and you see he's putting the cam back in. The new one's in already. Not a big problem there. But what we did on the cylinder heads, we took them all apart, cleaned them, and these have got a set of Brian Tooley Racing 660 lift titanium retainers in them. It's easier sometimes. They're a pack spring. They're dual. I don't use singles, but it's easier to just buy them sometime than to piece them all together. It takes a lot less time. This thing will be apart and together. Oh, I think we're going to have it now for a grand total of about 10 days from scratch. Push, we could probably do it faster, but making sure everything got done correctly. We didn't really do any port work. These cylinder heads are awesome. They're good for, 600, 650 horse on their own. The DI has some advantages, has some disadvantages. We'll be putting in a oil separator, catch can, if you will, in these things. That's what we're doing. So here's Bill. He's going to say hi.
Hi.
Bill doesn't like being on camera unless, of course, there's somebody else involved with a trapeze or a swing or something. All right, kidding about that. He's not really much of an acrobat anymore. Old age is kind of caught up with all of us, right?
Yeah.
Now we're just happy with working on cars all the time. All right, so tell him what was going on with this thing and what we found.
Oh, we found a broken valve spring.
Okay, replaced all the lifters now. We put the stock lifters into it. Do not use those LS7 lifters. They like too much oil pressure. We blocked off those pieces and parts, and we've got new 5.3 DI gaskets. They're unique, so you can't just use the ones for the regular 5.3. That does not work out well, right?
That's right.
Head bolts are different?
Head bolts are different. Cam bolts different. Crank bolts different.
Yep.
Valley trade gaskets different.
Yep. So I'll be listing all those parts for you. Bill has got everything cleaned up and he's putting it all back together now. He's just doing the camshaft.
Showing the DOD block off rivets.
Oh yeah. So we get these from Lingenfelter in a special tool. It's kind of a riveter. They go in to block off the oil passages right there for the DOD lifters. Keeps the oil pressure up on the regular side now. So it's kind of a unique deal. I know there are other kits out there, and sometimes I think they may have something different for a different valley tray. We've used a different valley tray before also, but this seems to be the quickest and easiest.
Aluminum plugs too.
Tap-in aluminum plugs. Yep. So you can get those from a bunch of different people, but we're going to put this all together and put in the dyno. I think these are rated at about 320-ish, 340 maybe?
I can't remember.
At the crank.
Yeah, I don't remember.
We'll see if my little camshaft does what I think it's going to do. We should be very pleased with the results, and so will the customer. All this takes about, with the cylinder heads redoing everything, I'm going to say it takes about 30 hours to do. Dyno time is extra. We didn't do it before because it was going cock, which is bad. Yeah, so we're going to get to work on this thing. Bill's going to finish this up probably by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get it fired up and toss it on the dyno, and I'll show you on the dyno the results, and then I'll give you all the part numbers so you can do this on your own. Remember, check the oil, change the oil, and then get the AFM, active fuel management, turned off, and these will live a long and happy life. Don't do it. And you got to see guys like Bill and I to fix all this stuff. For your local Chevy dealer, they wanted $9,000 from this guy to do the same basic setup except with all stock parts. So it's a lot of money, and don't buy a truck that's going cack, no matter how good a deal it is, you get a chance to do this twice. See ya.